Okay, so today I want to do a quick video on something that is deceptively hard to do on the 700xx, obviously, and that is the bearing in there, the rear lower control arm spherical bearing for the lower shock mount. So first of all, obviously, you want to take your lower arm off. Try to do it on the machine. It doesn't work. You got to take it off. So it's just 1 bolt, 2 bolt, take your sway bar off, 3 bolt, and then obviously your shock bolts as well. And then you want to get this over in the vise. You can see I got it out already. This is a bitch of a time. Just like every other bearing on this machine, they over-engineered it. They thought it was going on a bulldozer or something. So this is the old bearing, and you can tell it's failed. It's loose. It's got plenty of play in it. And it's not a huge deal, but, you know, you have a nice machine, you take good care of it, you want it to be in good shape. So basically, what makes this hard, as usual, is your snap ring. This tiny little SOB. And this guy, again, as usual, zoom in a little, sits right there. And specifically, so this is towards the front of the machine. He's sitting right there on the inside in front of your bearing. Now, what makes this one extra tricky, even more so than other parts of the suspension on this machine, is that these spherical bearings have these little tapers to them. And so basically, the snap ring sits obviously inside of its groove that is machined into the control arm, but it is then sandwiched into this taper portion, like so. And so it's basically like 70% locked in. It cannot be touched. You can see it. You can maybe finagle it with a pick a little bit. You cannot move it though. You can maybe spin it around if you're lucky. So the first thing you want to do, obviously, heat it up. Got the yellow torch. You can use a blue torch. It'll take longer. Heat it up a good amount. And you actually, the first thing you want to do, doesn't say this in the service manual because the service manual sucks. Very first thing you want to do is punch it forward. Actually, clean out what you can with air, brake clean, whatever. Get your seals out, both seals out on both sides. They look like this. They suck. They're metal and rubber. So get your seals out, clean the surfaces, and then kick it forward. Whether you want to use a press or you want to use a hammer. I found 14 mil socket with an extension and a 2.5 pound dead blow. Works like a charm. Kick it forward to press it into that snap ring as hard as possible. And then you really want to do a very good job cleaning this area out in here. Now, the bearing goes out forward, so it's deceptive because you want to push it into the snap ring to clean this out as best as you can, because there will be crud in there. If the bearings fail, it's because there's crud in there. And you want to get all the crud out. And then flip the control arm around. And now you want to push it this way. There's a little bit of slack, a little bit of extra room in there for the bearing to move like that. Obviously, it's not doing that all the time, but if you hit it with a big hammer, it will do that. So you want to push it forward, clean this out, and then push it backwards once you've cleaned it out so it can go back as far as it can go. Now, this is where it gets actually really hard. Let me put you down for a half a second. Very sorry. This is kind of an impromptu video, but I'm flipping the arm around. Okay, sorry about that. So now, front of the machine this way, back of the machine that way. And this is the left side arm. So now basically what happens is your bearing is sitting in here. I'm not going to put it back in. But your bearing is sitting in there. And you now have a little bit of room for your snap ring to move around. but you're still not done. Obviously, the service manual, if you read it, says, oh, use a special tool to remove the snap ring. Fuck you, Honda. There's no fucking special tools available 20 years later. So, what you want to do, what I did, I tried all of these generic picks, little flathead screwdrivers. None of them worked. I did two things. I took a very small diameter drill bit, doesn't really matter what, and I went in with the drill at an angle like that, and basically I wedged the drill bit in between the snap ring and the groove for the snap ring, and then I just started drilling. I drilled a little dimple. Literally pretty much in the snap ring groove. It's very small. You can see it there. It's, let me point to it. That's your dimple. Just a very small little depression. And then I took this. This is actually, if it wants to focus, a very old pair of tweezers. It doesn't want to focus, obviously. And I just ripped it apart in half, and then you basically have a very, very flat, but the tweezers are very hard. They're much stronger than your little 50-cent picks. Those will break, is what the problem is. They're not strong enough. So you want to take a pair of tweezers. I mean, this also probably would have worked, maybe, but you want a very pointy pair of tweezers, and then you want to grind it down to a very, very sharp point. This isn't even sharp enough. This side broke. And you want to make it... Actually, yeah, this is the one. You want a tiny little hook at the end. A little bit of a taper grind at the end. And then you come in. And you want to go in from the end of the snap ring. You don't want to come at it like this on the side. Because you'll never get it. Because doing this, you're trying to push it into the tapered part of the bearing. The bearing's not totally out of the way. It's still right in the fucking way. It's just I measured it, literally 10,000ths of an inch of slack. So you want to come in from the end of the bearing in the gap, and then you want to get into the dimple. And once you get into the dimple, if everything is done properly, you'll hook right under the end of it, and then you can just pry it up like that, and it'll come right out. And then you just punch the bearing out and rinse and repeat to put it in. This sucks. I'm sorry this is such a long video for such a simple thing. This took me almost an hour. Hope this helps somebody.